In a modest ballet studio tucked away in the heart of New York City, the echoes of soft classical music blended with the rhythmic sound of feet tapping against the polished wooden floor. Maya Johnson, a talented and determined African-American ballet dancer, moved with grace and fervor, her body a canvas of artistry and expression. The soft glow of the afternoon sun streamed through the large windows, illuminating her every pirouette and grand jeté. Each movement spoke of her passion, her dreams woven into the fabric of her dance. Maya's heart raced with excitement, fueled by the anticipation of her upcoming audition for the prestigious New York City Ballet. With each plie and releve, she envisioned herself in the company of renowned dancers, their elegance and poise inspiring her to push the boundaries of her own artistry. "This is it," she whispered to herself, sweat beading on her brow as she practiced her routine for what felt like the 100th time. "I can do this." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Maya finally paused, her breath coming in quick bursts. She glanced at the wall-mounted mirror, catching a glimpse of her reflection, an image of determination and hope. "Just a few more days," she murmured, tightening her hair into a bun, her mind racing with possibilities. The day of the audition arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Dancers of all shapes and sizes filled the waiting area, each one vying for a coveted spot in the esteemed company. Maya stood among them, her heart pounding like a drum. She watched as some of her fellow dancers practiced their routines, the air thick with competition. Despite the nerves gnawing at her, she reminded herself to stay focused. "I belong here," she thought, trying to quell the self-doubt creeping in. When her name was finally called, Maya stepped into the brightly lit audition room. The judges sat at a long table, their expressions neutral, but she felt their eyes scrutinizing her every move. As the music began, she poured her heart into her performance, her body flowing seamlessly through the choreography she had worked so hard to perfect. She infused her routine with a unique style, a blend of classical ballet and her own vibrant influences, hoping it would convey the depth of her artistry. As the final note faded, Maya stood breathless, the world around her temporarily forgotten. She had given her all, but the silence from the judges was deafening. After a long pause, one of the judges, a stern-looking woman with glasses perched on her nose, finally spoke up. "Thank you, Maya. That was interesting," she said, her tone polite yet cold. "But we're looking for something more traditional." Maya's heart sank, the weight of their words crashing down on her like a tidal wave. "Thank you for the opportunity," she managed to reply, forcing a smile despite the tears threatening to spill. As she stepped out of the audition room, she felt as if the air had been knocked out of her lungs. The hallway felt endless as she walked away, her dreams crumbling with each step. Back at home, Maya slumped onto the couch, the familiar scent of her grandmother's cooking wafting through the air. Her grandmother, a sturdy woman with soft eyes and a warm smile, looked up from the stove, concern etched on her face. "How was it, sweetheart?" she asked, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Maya hesitated, the weight of rejection heavy on her shoulders. "They didn't like my style, Grandma. They said it was too unconventional." Her voice broke, and she buried her face in her hands, the tears flowing freely now. Her grandmother moved to sit beside her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "Oh, Maya," she said softly, "rejection doesn't define you. You are unique, and that's your strength. Remember, the world needs different voices, especially in art. Don't let their words dim your light." Maya looked up, meeting her grandmother's gaze. "But what if I'm not good enough?" she whispered, the fear of inadequacy gnawing at her. "You are more than enough," her grandmother insisted, her voice firm yet gentle. "Embrace who you are, my dear. The right opportunity will come, and when it does, you'll be ready. This is not the end. It's just a step on your journey." As the warmth of her grandmother's embrace enveloped her, Maya felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. Perhaps this rejection was not the end, but rather a chance to discover her true self. With renewed determination, she wiped her tears and resolved to dance for herself, to find her own unique voice in a world that often tried to box her in. Maya Johnson stood in front of the mirror in her small studio, her heart racing with determination. The sun streamed through the dusty windows, casting a warm glow over the wooden floor as her reflection stared back, a blend of hope and fierce resolve. After the recent rejection from the New York City Ballet, she had vowed to explore the depths of her creativity, to dance not just with her body, but with her soul. She stretched her limbs, feeling the tension release as she shifted her focus from traditional ballet to a more fluid, contemporary style. As she began to move, the rhythm of hip-hop pulsed in her mind, a vibrant beat that resonated with her heartbeat. The music filled the room, and Maya lost herself in the fusion of styles, her body flowing effortlessly from a pirouette into a pop-and-lock move. Each twist and turn was a declaration of her identity, a testament to her refusal to be confined by the limitations others imposed on her. "This is it, Maya. You got to show them what you can really do," she whispered to herself, a mantra that fueled her spirit. Over the next few weeks, Maya devoted herself to this new path, practicing daily and incorporating elements from various styles she had long admired. She watched countless videos of artists who had broken barriers, letting their creativity flow without restriction. Maya, her friend Lila, called out one day, bursting into the studio. "You've got to see this. There's a showcase at the park next week, and they're looking for performers. You should totally sign up." Maya paused, wiping the sweat from her brow. "A showcase? Do you think they want to see my stuff?" Doubt crept in, but she shook it off. "I mean, I'm not exactly what they expect." "Exactly," Lila exclaimed with enthusiasm. "That's why you should. You're not just another ballerina. You're something different. Your style is fresh and exciting." With Lila's encouragement, Maya found herself signing up for the showcase, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and nerves. As the day approached, she rehearsed her routine, pouring her heart into every movement. On the day of the performance, she stood backstage, the sounds of the audience buzzing in her ears. Her stomach churned, but she reminded herself of the journey that had brought her here. Stepping into the spotlight, Maya felt the energy of the crowd envelop her. She began to dance, the music intertwining with her breath, and for the first time in a long while, she felt free. The audience responded with cheers and claps, their energy feeding her performance. She transitioned seamlessly from ballet to hip-hop, creating a narrative that was uniquely hers. After her performance, people approached her with genuine admiration. "That was incredible. I've never seen anything like it," one man said, his eyes wide with excitement. "You've got to keep performing." Over the next few months, Maya continued to perform at various local showcases, each time receiving more recognition and applause. She became a vibrant part of the underground dance scene, where her innovative style resonated with audiences who appreciated the blend of cultures and techniques. One evening, as she returned home after a particularly exhilarating performance, Maya's phone rang. The caller ID displayed an unknown number, but something compelled her to answer. "Hello," she said, her voice laced with curiosity. "Maya, this is Jasmine from the Dance Awards Committee. We've been following your performances, and I'm thrilled to let you know that you've been nominated for the Rising Star Award this year." Maya's breath caught in her throat, her heart racing. "Wait, what? Are you serious?" "Absolutely. Your unique approach to dance has truly captured our attention, and we can't wait to see what you do next." "Congratulations." As she hung up, a wave of disbelief washed over her, followed by an exhilarating rush of hope. She had always dreamed of recognition, but receiving such an honor felt surreal. "Mom! Grandma!" she shouted, barely able to contain her excitement as she raced into the living room. "You won't believe what just happened." Her grandmother looked up from her knitting, a knowing smile on her face. "What is it, darling?" "I've been nominated for the Rising Star Award," Maya exclaimed, her voice bubbling with joy. "This is my chance, my moment to show the world who I really am." Her grandmother embraced her tightly. "I knew you would find your way, Maya. You've always had something special in you. This is just the beginning." In that moment, Maya felt a surge of determination. She was ready to embrace her path, ready to show everyone that her unique voice in dance was not just valid but powerful. With every step she took toward the future, She knew she was not just dancing. She was making a statement. Maya Johnson stood backstage at the grand ballroom of the historic New York City venue, her heart racing as the intoxicating sounds of applause drifted through the heavy velvet curtains. The anticipation was palpable, a thick fog of excitement mingling with her nerves. She could hear the announcer's voice echoing through the hall, introducing her as the next performer in the prestigious Rising Star Award ceremony. This was her moment, the culmination of years of hard work and determination. "Just remember to breathe," she whispered to herself, taking a deep breath as she adjusted her costume. A stunning blend of traditional ballet attire and vibrant urban flair. The outfit flowed seamlessly with the essence of her dance, embodying the unique style she had cultivated through countless hours of practice and exploration. She glanced at the reflective surface of the mirror, catching a glimpse of her fierce determination in her own wide eyes. As the announcer called her name, Maya stepped onto the stage, the bright lights illuminating her presence. The audience fell silent, their eyes locked onto her. She could feel the weight of their expectations pressing down on her, but instead of succumbing to the pressure, she embraced it. With a resolute nod to the music, she launched into her performance, her body moving gracefully yet powerfully across the stage. The choreography unfolded like a story, intertwining classical ballet with the raw energy of hip-hop and contemporary dance. Maya's movements exuded passion and authenticity, each leap in turn a declaration of her unique identity as a dancer. The audience was captivated, their reactions growing more animated with every beat. Gasps of astonishment echoed through the hall as she executed a series of intricate spins, seamlessly transitioning from delicate ballet poses to dynamic street dance moves. As she reached the climax of her performance, a surge of adrenaline coursed through her veins. She executed a breathtaking combination that left the crowd in awe, blending traditional pirouettes with sharp, urban isolations that showcased her versatility. The applause erupted as she concluded her performance with a dramatic pose, her arms extended and her body poised in a powerful stance. "Bravo!" someone shouted from the audience, and soon the entire room was on its feet, clapping and cheering for Maya. Tears of joy welled in her eyes as she took a deep bow, soaking in the overwhelming support. In that moment, she felt validated, her journey of self-discovery culminating in this powerful affirmation of her artistry. Later that evening, as the awards were announced, Maya stood nervously alongside other nominees, each of them glowing with talent and potential. The tension in the air was electric, and she could hardly believe it when her name was finally called as the winner of the Rising Star Award. A wave of disbelief washed over her, followed by uncontainable joy as she made her way to the stage to accept the trophy. "Thank you. Thank you so much," Maya exclaimed, her voice trembling with emotion. "This award is not just for me, but for everyone who dares to dance differently. We are all unique, and that's what makes our art beautiful." The applause swelled once again, and she felt the warmth of acceptance enveloping her. However, the euphoria of her victory was soon overshadowed by a surprise turn of events. In the aftermath of the ceremony, Maya received a call from the artistic director of the New York City Ballet. The voice on the other end was warm yet assertive. "Maya, your performance tonight was extraordinary. We'd love to discuss a position with you at our company," the director said, a hint of eagerness in her tone. Maya's heart sank slightly. The memories of her rejection flooded back, the cold, dismissive words of the judges ringing in her ears. "Thank you for considering me," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "But I need some time to think about it." "Of course, take all the time you need," the director said, her tone shifting to one of understanding. "We believe you could bring something fresh and vital to our company." As Maya hung up the phone, she felt a whirlwind of emotions. Part of her was tempted by the offer, lured by the prestige of the company that had once turned her away. But another part of her, one that had fought hard to carve out her own identity in the dance world, hesitated. She wanted to embrace her uniqueness and share her vision without the constraints of traditional expectations. "Why should I conform to their standards?" she muttered to herself. pacing around her small apartment. The trophy gleamed on the table, a reminder of her journey and the battles she had fought to be seen and celebrated. Maya knew that the path ahead was uncertain, but she also understood that true empowerment came from making choices that aligned with her authentic self. As she stared out the window at the vibrant city lights, she felt a renewed sense of clarity. The world was filled with possibilities, and she was determined to explore them on her own terms. Maya stood on the rooftop of her apartment building, the sprawling skyline of New York City laid out before her like a canvas waiting for her brush. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, but her thoughts were consumed by the decision she had just made. Declining the offer from the New York City Ballet had felt like both liberation and trepidation. She had fought long and hard to carve out her own identity in the dance world, and now she was resolute in her choice to continue down her own path. "Are you really okay with this?" her best friend, Aisha, asked, joining her on the rooftop. Aisha's voice was laced with concern, and her brow furrowed as she watched Maya's expression shift between determination and doubt. Maya turned to her, a smile breaking through the uncertainty. "I am. I want to redefine ballet, to show everyone that it can be more than just what they think it is," she replied, her voice gaining strength with each word. "I want to teach the next generation that they don't have to fit into a mold. They can be anything they want to be." Aisha nodded slowly, her eyes reflecting admiration. "You're going to be an incredible teacher. Just think about all those kids who will look up to you." With renewed energy, Maya set about organizing workshops for young dancers in her neighborhood. She envisioned a space where creativity flowed freely, where students could explore their individuality through movement. It was her chance to give back to the community that had always supported her, and she couldn't wait to share her passion. The next day, as she stepped into a small community center, the scent of polished wood and fresh paint greeted her. The studio was modest, but filled with potential. Maya could already picture the eager faces of her students, soaking in every lesson. She gathered her materials, her heart racing with anticipation. "Maya," a voice called out, and she turned to see her grandmother, smiling brightly as she approached. "I brought you some snacks for your first class." "Thanks, Grandma. You always know how to make me feel better," Maya said, wrapping her arms around her grandmother. The warmth of their embrace filled the room with love. "I'm a little nervous." "Don't be. You have so much to offer," her grandmother reassured her. "Just be yourself. They'll love you for it." As the first class began, Maya greeted the group of young dancers, their eyes wide with excitement. "Welcome, everyone. I'm Maya, and today we're going to explore how dance can be a reflection of who we are. Let's start with some warm-ups." The class was a whirlwind of energy and laughter. Maya encouraged her students to express themselves, blending ballet with hip-hop and contemporary moves. She watched as they embraced the freedom of dance, their bodies moving in ways that felt authentic to them. It was everything she had hoped it would be. However, as Maya flourished in her new role, the shadows of the past began to creep in. Whispers started circulating within the dance community, rumors that questioned her talent and her unconventional approach. She first heard the murmurs at a local cafe, where fellow dancers discussed her workshops with a mix of skepticism and disdain. "Who does she think she is? Just because she won that award doesn't mean she can teach," one voice sneered. "She's trying to change ballet into something it's not. It's just a phase. It won't last," another chimed in. Maya felt a familiar sting of rejection, but this time, it fueled her resolve. She refused to let the negativity taint her mission. With each class, her students thrived, and she found herself more determined than ever to stand against the prejudice that sought to undermine her success. Then came the day when she found herself face to face with Eleanor, the artistic director of the New York City Ballet. Eleanor's reputation preceded her, a formidable woman known for her sharp tongue and even sharper ambition. Maya had heard the whispers of Eleanor's jealousy, but she was unprepared for the confrontation that unfolded. "Maya," Eleanor began, her voice smooth yet cold, "I must say, I'm surprised to see you thriving. It's quite a departure from the traditional ballet, I know." Maya held her ground. "I'm redefining what ballet can be, Eleanor. I believe in the power of expressing who we are through dance. Is that so? Eleanor's expression shifted, revealing a flicker of anger beneath her polished exterior. You're creating a spectacle, not art. It's a shame to see talent wasted on such unconventional choices. Maya squared her shoulders, her heart racing, but she refused to back down. Art is about evolution, Eleanor. If you can't see the beauty in diversity, then maybe it's you who's out of touch with the future of dance. Eleanor's eyes narrowed, a predatory glint flashing across her face. You have a bright future ahead, but if you want it to last, you might want to reconsider your approach. Maya could feel the weight of Eleanor's words hanging in the air, thick with manipulation and envy. Yet in that moment, she understood the stakes. She was not just fighting for herself. She was fighting for every dancer who had ever felt marginalized or dismissed. I won't conform to your standards, Eleanor, Maya declared, her voice steady. I'm here to create my own narrative, and I won't let you undermine my journey. Eleanor's smile was thin, almost predatory. We'll see about that. As Maya walked away, she felt a surge of empowerment. She knew the battle was just beginning, but she was ready to face whatever obstacles lay ahead. With her students rallying around her, she would continue to redefine the world of dance on her own terms. Maya stood in the center of the dimly lit community center, the soft hum of anticipation surrounding her. The air was thick with the scent of sweat and determination as she prepared for the meeting with the fellow dancers she had invited. Their faces reflected a mixture of curiosity and apprehension, a mirror of her own feelings. She could see the familiar faces of her friends, but also those of strangers, young dancers from different backgrounds who had been following her journey and were eager to join her cause. Thank you all for coming, Maya began, her voice steady despite the flutter of nerves in her stomach. I know many of us have faced challenges in expressing our unique styles, especially within the traditional dance community. Today, I want to talk about how we can embrace our individuality and show the world that dance is not just one thing. One of the dancers, a tall girl with bright green hair named Lila, raised her hand. But what if the ballet world still doesn't accept us? They've been so rigid for so long. What makes you think they'll change now? Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of Lila's doubt. Change starts with us. We need to show them that diversity in dance is not just acceptable, it's beautiful. If we come together and support one another, we can create something powerful. A murmur of agreement rippled through the group, and Maya's heart swelled with hope. We should organize a performance, said Jonah, a contemporary dancer with a passion for breaking boundaries. Something that showcases all of our styles. A celebration of everything we represent. Maya's eyes lit up at the idea. Yes, a performance that highlights our different backgrounds and styles. We can invite the community, reach out to local media, and make sure everyone knows that dance can be diverse and inclusive. The energy in the room shifted, excitement bubbling like a pot about to boil over. They brainstormed names for the event, deciding on unity in motion. Maya could already envision the stage filled with dancers from various disciplines: ballet, hip-hop, contemporary, and even traditional African dance. As they planned, the weeks flew by, and the day of the performance arrived. The community center buzzed with energy, the walls adorned with colorful posters announcing the event. The audience filled the seats, a tapestry of faces eager to witness the showcase. Maya stood backstage, her heart racing, feeling the weight of what this moment could mean for all of them. Are you ready? Lila asked, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. More than ready, Maya replied, her voice a whisper of confidence. As the curtain rose, the stage transformed into a vibrant celebration of movement. Maya opened the performance with a piece that combined her ballet roots with hip-hop, her body flowing effortlessly as she danced. The audience erupted in applause, their appreciation palpable. One by one, her fellow dancers took the stage, each performance a testament to their unique styles and stories. The energy was electric, and Maya felt a sense of unity that she had longed for. The dancers moved as if they were one, a collective heartbeat pulsing through the air, shattering the confines of traditional dance. After the final bow, the applause echoed like a thunderstorm. Maya stood with her friends, tears of joy streaming down her face. They had done it. They had created something beautiful together. As the audience began to disperse, several media representatives approached Maya, their cameras flashing and notepads at the ready. "Maya, can you tell us about the inspiration behind Unity in Motion?" one reporter asked, shoving a microphone toward her. Maya took a deep breath, the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. "This performance is a celebration of our differences and a call to the dance community to embrace diversity. We are not just one style. We are a multitude of voices, and together, we create something extraordinary." The reporter nodded, eyes wide with admiration. "Your message is powerful, and it resonates deeply. We'll be sure to cover this in our piece." As the night wound down, Maya looked around at her friends, their faces glowing with pride. She felt a profound sense of fulfillment wash over her. This was just the beginning. The success of Unity in Motion would ripple through the dance community, igniting conversations and challenging the status quo. Maya knew they had not only performed, they had started a movement. The night of Maya's big performance arrived, the atmosphere electric with anticipation. The theater buzzed with chatter, a sea of faces illuminated by the soft glow of chandeliers overhead. Backstage, Maya stood in front of the mirror, her heart racing. She adjusted her costume, the fabric hugging her form, a blend of traditional ballet and modern flair. It was not just a performance. It was a declaration of her identity, the culmination of her journey. Yet, the shadows of doubt loomed larger than ever. "Hey, you've got this," said Lila, one of the dancers from Maya's workshop, as she placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You've worked too hard to let anyone or anything shake you now." Maya managed a smile, though her stomach churned with anxiety. "I just can't shake the feeling that Eleanor is still trying to sabotage me. I heard rumors she's been telling people my choreography is unoriginal." Lila's expression hardened. "Let them talk. You know the truth, and so do we. This community believes in you. We're here for you, no matter what." Maya took a deep breath, her resolve strengthening. "Thank you, Lila. I need to remember that. I'm not alone in this." As the stage manager called for the dancers, Maya felt a rush of adrenaline. She stepped out onto the stage, the spotlight blinding at first. The audience was a sea of faces, but she focused. With the music beginning to swell, she plunged into her performance, each movement infused with her spirit. The blend of ballet and street dance flowed seamlessly, a story told through every leap and turn that spoke of resilience and identity. Backstage, Eleanor watched with narrowed eyes, her frustration palpable. She had dismissed Maya's talent as a passing fad, but now, as the audience erupted in applause, she felt the sting of her underestimation. "This isn't over," she muttered, her voice barely audible over the cheers. As Maya danced, the energy in the theater shifted. The audience was captivated, swept away by the raw emotion and innovative choreography. Her heart soared as she executed a particularly difficult move, a grand jeté that seemed to defy gravity. The crowd gasped, then erupted into cheers, a wave of support that fueled her every step. Just as she reached her finale, the theater doors burst open, and a group of dancers from her community surged in, banners held high, chanting her name. "Maya! Maya! Maya!" Their voices echoed, drowning out any negativity that lingered in the air. They had come to stand by her, to counter the whispers of doubt that Eleanor had spread. Maya's heart swelled as she caught sight of them, the support igniting a fire within. In that moment, she danced not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever felt marginalized, everyone who had been told they didn't belong. The final pose was met with a thunderous standing ovation, the applause resonating like music in her ears. Eleanor, watching from the wings, felt her control slipping away. As the audience continued to cheer, the truth about her unethical tactics began to spread among the attendees. Whispers turned into conversations, and soon, the press caught wind of the scandal. Reports surfaced detailing Eleanor's attempts to undermine Maya, and the dance community rallied in outrage. After the performance, as Maya took her bows, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She had not only triumphed on stage, but had also stood up against the forces that sought to diminish her. The realization that she had the power to redefine her narrative filled her with a sense of purpose. In the days that followed, Eleanor was forced to resign amidst the public scandal, the company facing backlash for their treatment of Maya. Meanwhile, offers flooded in from various dance companies eager to embrace her unique artistry. Maya, however, chose to forge her own path, one that honored her roots and celebrated her individuality. As she stood in her studio, surrounded by the young dancers she had inspired, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. "Remember," she said, smiling at them, "your voice matters. Dance is about expression, about who you are. Never let anyone tell you otherwise." With newfound clarity, she embraced her identity as a dancer, ready to lead a movement that championed diversity in the art form she loved. In that moment, she knew that true success was not measured by accolades or acceptance from others, but by the courage to stand proudly in her truth.